Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone.
Walaikum assalam.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nazmul Khan. I am your instructor for this course, and I'm also founder and volunteer of 24 Asia. We are going to recap fast what we have learned on last class on a high level in a few minutes. Then we'll jump to our today course itself. Okay, let me share my screen so that all of you can see my screen. I hope all of you can see my screen.
Yes, can see.
Okay, thank you. So once again, thank you everyone for joining our course. This course is basic computer networking. Actually, it's computer fundamental, hardware, operating system, administration, cloud computing, networking, and cybersecurity. But such a big name, we can't really use it in the certificate. So we give a short form called basic computer and networking. Okay. So আমি পুরো কোর্সটা ইংলিশে I will run the entire course in English, but in between if somebody asks in a question in Bengali, I can help to answer. But I'm so sorry that for non-Bangladeshi student, I can't explain or answer for other language, any of the answer. So I can explain or give answer to in any other language, but I will definitely try in English. Okay, for Bangladeshi, definitely I will try to answer in Bangla as well. So this course, this is our banner. I think many of you have seen that, and this banner have many information which you may have not noticed. Let me just recap. On the right side of this, the Zoom meeting link, ID and password has been given in the banner. And this is the same Zoom meeting link that we are using every Tuesday 9 to 11. So we are also sharing it in the WhatsApp group as a reminder. So this is the same Zoom link that we are going to use, for every single classes. In fact, the same link for next month, following month, and and this is the same link that we used last 20 batch. Okay, so you can just use that link from here. In the middle, what do you see? The things that will cover in day 1, day 2, day 3. Things is a computer fundamental on the first day that we have gone through. Second day is Windows administration, plus actually we will show you some cloud computing as well as system health. Day 3 we will learn about the networking and web hosting. Okay, if somebody wanted to have our own personal web, how he can do that. And the last day, day 4, we learn about the cyber security and the cyber threat protection. Okay, so those are the things that we will learn. And on the left side, you will see a QR code for 20 Fisher Learning Center. If you scan this QR code, you will go to our Facebook group and you can just click to the join. At the middle, at the bottom is every Tuesday, 9 to 11 p.m. I still see lots of people actually asking when this banner was been posted. Hello, brother, when is the class? The class details is already given in the banner. Please read it fast. Again, ask, brother, when is the class? So I mean, this is something that I think we should really see where we are standing, where what information is given. If there is anything is missing, definitely you can ask. But at least try to read what is there. Okay, so this is our computer banner. So I won't go through much. Spend time here. Total, we have 4 lessons. We are at the second lesson today. Each class is around 120 minutes, so 2 hours. So at the same time, we have also given the class assignment. Last week, there was a class assignment that was called assignment 1. This week, there will be another class assignment, the same thing. You have to write down all the hand note and you have to submit it here. And once you go to this portal link, okay, then you have to put, there is a comments where you have to write it actually that this is for class assignment 2. Let me just share. And many of you actually ask, brother, what should I write it here? This is the class assignment, right? At the bottom, assignment details. So you can upload the file. Here you should write class assignment 02. Okay. Today is 02. Okay. So when you do the class assignment 3, you should just write class assignment 03. Okay. When you do 4, you should do 04. So last class was 01. That's what you need to write assignment details. Then add the file and submit the same way that you did it last week. Okay. So there's 2 hours is given. Whatever you have learned from the class, and also recap yourself and furnish it, write it properly and upload it to the class assessment portal. So that's 8 hours plus 8 hours is 16 hours is your study. Okay. All of you are supposed to be spending that 16 hours. So just to give a overview about 24Share, many of you may not know. 24Share is a volunteer organization started 2018. So when we started 2018, our objective was we wanted to connect 100 countries people in one single platform, and we wanted to empower them all. So what is the empowerment? Empowerment is something to assist someone to discover his hidden talent. And once we manage to discover his hidden talent, we assist them to showcase his talent, okay, to the whole world. So through this last 4 years, we have done many things. We started the Zoom session. We have done many TV hosting, live show. You have seen actually, like last week, there was a live show and our student actually ran this live show. Some student you see is in front. They are actually host and co-host with panelists. There are some students that you don't see who are behind the studio. They control the studio. We also teach that in the TV hosting course. Okay. And as well as we teach the, as a host, co-host and public speaking course. This all are free. We also have teach, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, workplace safety and health, video editing, graphics design, as well as this course. Okay. We have done the blood donation last year and this year. So this year we have donated 107 bag of blood. We have done photography contest, 2020 November. 252 people participated. We have done distributed some computers sometime back in January 2021. We have donated some dates as well as some fruits, and we have recently done the blood donation. So there's many other activity we have done. It's not highlighted here actually, as well as the training that we are conducting. So these are all done as a volunteer organization. We basically share our knowledge with our friends so that everyone develop themselves. This is a certificate sample that we will do. And again, for this course, if you have submitted all 4 assignments, then only you will get a certificate. Writing pads and pen. I have several times reminded you, if there's someone is new to this class, Rakib 2 student is waiting. Sorry, let me add them. So there are many students maybe recently joined who missed our last class. Last class was uploaded to our YouTube channel, and the link is also published in our 24Asia learning group. Okay. So many of you, if you don't know 24Asia learning Facebook group, if you can just scan the QR code, then the banner, then you will see. You can also search to our Facebook, and once you search it, you will see this is our 24Asia Facebook page. It's a Facebook group, sorry. And here actually you will see that the last class video is already uploaded here. So this is the YouTube video. So all your class or course materials as well as the video will be uploaded to this group. So make sure you are part of this Facebook group. You can just search 24Asia Learning Center. You'll see, you just click add and join. Okay. So this is very important because we'll publish many contents there. And not only does this course, in subsequently in future, all the upcoming course will publish there on the banner and the course schedule. So regarding the writing pads, so everyone must have a writing pad, something like this. Any of the stationery you can go to buy. Any of the stationery shop you can go to buy is maybe $2.50 or less. The pen, you need to buy 3 pen, red, blue, and black. Okay, and this is how you are going to use the 3 pen for your hand note. Okay, again, in this writing pad you have to make sure you write all the hand note. So for the module, like module 1, module 2, module 3, make sure you use red color pen to write the module details or module title. The sub header, you should use blue color pen. Okay, and the details of the description, you must use black color pen. And then once those details, you write it in your hand note. It may be 1 page to 5 pages. Write it very nicely, neat and clean. Then take picture and upload to our submission portal. Our submission portal link is already given in the group. If needed, Rakib, can you post it again, the submission portal in the chat panel? So again, after the class, I will share the submission link in the WhatsApp group again. If you are part of our WhatsApp group or Telegram group, you will definitely get the link from there. If any of you are not part of our WhatsApp group or Telegram group, please make sure that you join these 2 messaging group. Okay. So that's your assignment. So make sure you write very nicely. You write the graph when you see the screen. You know, you write the details. You take the screenshot your phone and upload to this assignment page. Okay. Course name, you can select the drop down. After you select all the file, you can select up to the 5 file. There is a limit. Okay. And once you submit, the next line you will see the content details. You write it assignment 02 or class assignment 02. So many of you may don't know, you can write, use a hard copy or writing pad. You can also do a digital note. What is digital note? There is a software called Evernote. It's a cloud based. You can have a mobile apps. You can register for up to 2 devices, but it's free. So they have a premium subscription, but you don't need to buy. Just use the free subscription. Install to your mobile, install to laptop. Whatever you upload to mobile, you can see in the laptop. Whatever you upload to the laptop, you can see in the mobile. Okay, so it's the digital notes. You can have a combination of picture plus text plus graph plus table plus everything and anything. I highly recommend Evernote. I've been using this Evernote since 2011. Now 2021 is 10 years that I'm using this. So I highly recommend. So for the course, this is the course outline. Okay, many of you might have seen or miss it. Okay, again, the first day we have covered more on computer hardware and fundamental. We have covered lots of stuffs on the hardware side in terms of the PC, in terms of the laptop, in terms of server and storage. We'll go through it shortly just to recap. Okay. Then the second day is today. Okay, so I have updated the slide. So it was a system health check rather than system and cloud, because we have incorporated many cloud computing stuffs here that you will see shortly. We'll also teach you how to install the Red Hat and Windows operating system shortly. Okay. And this is the day 2, and day 3 is next Tuesday. We'll learn more on the networking. We'll learn a basic fundamental networking. We'll learn about the cable and the termination. We'll also learn about the domain and hosting, how to buy a domain, how to do a hosting to a website. Okay, you can maintain your own website. It could be WordPress or whatever. So the last day we'll learn about the cybersecurity awareness, cybersecurity hacking, what type of hacking. Who are the hacker? How do you know he's a hacker? And how does hacker looks like? Okay, what hacker does? Okay, then what is the cyber threat and cyber protection that we will learn. So this 4-day course actually is a 1-year diploma course, but we are offering in just 4 days and it's absolutely free. We spent 3 months to prepare this content, and we are conducting this course for all of you just for free. So free doesn't mean that everything is better. So you must learn and apply it yourself. If you learn it and you actually get a better job, you won't pay anything to me. I don't need you to pay, but you just upgrade yourself. You share to someone else that 24 has done something and I learn it and apply it, and someone will actually get the chance to learn as well. Okay, so let me jump to the course again. So last class, I'll just recap what we learned. Last class, we learned what is hardware, the PC, laptops, the software, what is basic electronics, what is the circuit, what is the diode, what is the register, then what are the different type of the computer, generation 1, generation 2, generation 3 for the electronics device computer, then how does the third generation computer looks like, what is the second generation, third generation, and fifth generation computer looks like, and what device was being used to develop or build a computer, okay, from those generation and so on. We have also learned about the input device and output device. So what is input device? Input device are those devices that take the input data, send it to CPU to process it, and then output device is show the output device. Like for example, mouse, keyboard, joystick, these are all input device. Output device is like a monitor, printer, speaker, because output device in the monitor we can see, printer it printed we can see, speaker give a sound that we can hear, the projector actually reflected like screen. So these are our input and output device. And input device will give the input, CPU is process it, memory is to dump it in the memory, okay. RAM, GPU is actually do the graphics rendering, HDD is save the data to hard disk and then process it. We have also learned, what are the key things that you need to consider when you actually buy a computer. Okay, if you wanted to buy a laptop for your own or family, so what are the few things that you need to know? CPU, memory, hard disks, and space, and what are the difference between i3 processor, i4, i5. We have also learned the hardware basic installation. What is ESD, anti-static mat, and why do we need the mat? Because of the electricity discharge to protect yourself. We have learned what are the different components and parts there on the laptops. Same thing, what are the different components and parts for the PC and how to build that. We have also learned about the server, what are the different components for the server, okay. And we have also learned about the storage and how this storage data is right in the hard disks, and what are the different type of hard disks that we have it, and these hard disks when connected in the RAID controller, what the RAID volume and how does it works actually, for file systems. Then we have also learned the different type of the CPU, okay, for the RISC processor as well as x86 processor, okay. So and which are the x86 processor is in the market, like AMD, Apple, Intel, and ARM. And the fundamental difference versus Intel and AMD processor on the three different generation, that we have also learned. We also learned about the keyboard and keyboard, all the button functionalities. Okay, we have learned OS installation. We didn't really see last class, but then the file system and the details, the driver installation, OS patching, and the basic feature of the antivirus, and the updated driver that we have actually shown how to update and remove the driver on the device manager. We have done some memory testing. I think that was good. Lots of students has recovered it. We have done some hands-on experience to show the system properties, CPU, MEM, hard disks, and the version. Yeah, so that was the first class. We just recap it. Okay, so now we are jumping to second class. Okay, half an hour is over. So today is the second class. So second class is more about the system and cloud. Okay, I think many of you know or many of you heard about the cloud. Because nowadays everything is cloud computing, everybody is buy the cloud services. So what is this cloud all about, and why they call it cloud, and how this cloud is built? Okay, so before we jump to the system health and the system details that we check, first of all we have to install the OS. Later I will show you how to install the OS. I will show you how to install the Windows 10 operating system. Okay, if some of you have familiar with, then you definitely know. I will also teach you how to install the Linux. There are many different type of flavor of Linux. Linux mainly used for the server. But if you because in Windows you have to pay Windows 7, I think you have to pay $148 US dollar for 1 year. But Linux, there are some Linux distribution is free. So if you wanted to use paid Windows versus free Linux operating system or Linux desktop, what operating system can you use? You can use Ubuntu. Ubuntu, they have a server version, they have a desktop version. So Ubuntu desktop looks like this. It's a Linux operating system based on Unix file system. So normally Unix known as a virus free, because Unix virus doesn't really attack on Unix. Okay, because of the nature of the file system and the data they write. But virus usually attack on the Windows based file system. Windows has many file systems. Okay, so Windows have to pay. Linux like Ubuntu, you don't need to pay anything. So I will show you how to install it and how to use it. Okay. But before we install, because I'm already using my laptop to present this slide, what I need to do, I need to use some sort of virtualization. Okay. Then question is, what is the virtualization? Okay, what is the VM? VM means is a virtual machine. Please make sure you write all the hand notes when you are listening. If you do not understand, unmute yourself and ask the question. Rakib and Tipu, can you please make sure that you pick up all the question?
Sure.
Yeah. So there are many different type of cloud service providers available that we'll talk later. Okay. But fundamental is the cloud is nothing but is actually the cloud resource that is a virtualized resource. Okay. So today, how I'll do it, I will make my laptop as a cloud. How I do it, I have to use some sort of hypervisor. Okay, the hypervisor is there are many hypervisor software is available on the Google. I will go and install a hypervisor software. I will also show you from where to download. Is a free, and after I install, I'll make my laptop as a multiple virtual machine, just like a cloud. So what is cloud? Okay, or what is VirtualBox? So what I call VirtualBox is actually the type 2 hypervisor for x86 virtualization. It was actually developed a company called Innotech, German company. Then Sun Microsystem acquired them in 2008. Sun Microsystem is a very well-known American company for the server. Then Oracle in 2010, they acquired the Sun Microsystem. Okay, so now the VirtualBox belongs to a Oracle property, but it still is free. Okay, so now the VirtualBox is a hypervisor. Okay, that later I will install and show you. Okay, but to understand the cloud, what is exactly the cloud? So let's say, for example, this is my laptop. I think you can see I have put a laptop, here, and in my laptop I have an i7 8-core processor. I have a RAM 16 GB. I have a hard disk 512 gigabit. I have a LAN port 1 gigabyte, and I also have a one port 1 gigabyte. So I just consider this 4 as a resource. So what I'm going to do this is called hardware layer. Okay, I'm going to install Oracle VirtualBox shortly, and once I install the Oracle VirtualBox, I will create 5 different VM virtual machine: VM1, VM2, VM3, VM4, and VM5. So this is called after the virtualization layer. Okay, after we install the VirtualBox hypervisor, then this is called virtualization layer. Then each of the VM I can install different operating system. Let's say, for example, VM1 I install Windows 2006. VM3 I install maybe Windows 10, for example, and VM5 maybe I install Linux. Okay, now maybe VM1 I install Windows 2016 and Active Directory, DSCP, DNS. These are all application. Okay, and if I use Windows 2016, maybe I can VM3 I can install SQL Server as a database server. So I have an application, I have a database. Then maybe Linux I can configure as a web. So this web, SQL, and all those, this is actually under application layer. So you have a hardware layer, you have a virtualization layer, you have an OS layer, you have an application layer. So this whole thing, when I do it within my laptop, then my laptop become a cloud. Okay, so now the question is, in a data center, traditional data center, this is not how it's designed. Then how the traditional data center is designed? Okay, On the right side, I have shown you this is a Kalang data center, one of my customer data center. Okay, in the Kalang data center, I have a centralized SAN storage. You have already learned what is SAN in the past. Okay, the SAN storage, and this SAN storage is connected to the 3 HP server: server 1, server 2, server 3. Okay, then each of the HP server, I have VMware virtualization called VMware ESX. Okay, or ESXi. So I have ESX server 1, ESX server 2, ESX server 3. Then each ESX server, I have a 4 VM, 2 VM, and 4 VM. Now inside one VM, I maybe install Windows, and I maybe install Linux, I maybe install different operating system. On top of that, I maybe install a software or server services, something like Facebook. So when you go to the www.facebook.com, the web portal that you see, this is a Facebook application. Okay, I can install that entire Facebook application to this server. Now, then I can install another server, maybe Linux. Okay, I can install WhatsApp service there and WhatsApp software there. I'm not talking about the WhatsApp client. I'm not talking about the Facebook client, the one you run on the laptop or the phone. I'm talking about the server services. How do you discover Facebook.com? Okay, similar, like for example, Google, I can maybe install a server and actually set up a Google search engine server. I can maybe do a Google Gmail server. Okay, I can maybe set up for Bing and LinkedIn server. So all those are applications that I can set up on a different VM. Now, why people does that? Because in the event this server crash, maybe 2 hard disks gone, or power supply is gone, or maybe the server is failed, all those VM you can move on the fly from this server to this server and this server to this server. So let's say, for example, this server crash and you have 2 VM, one is running Facebook, one is WhatsApp. This VM will automatically jump and move to ESX2 here and there because they have space for the resource. So as a user like me, when I log into the Facebook, I'm accessing it. First of all, I don't know where the Facebook server. Do you know when you access the Facebook? None of us know where the server is coming from because we call it cloud services. Facebook is a cloud services. Twitter is a cloud services. Instagram is a cloud services. TikTok is a cloud services. We just go to facebook.com and we see, but we don't know where the server located. So, but ultimately the service, the software is hosted to one of the data center. And inside the data center, this is how it's been managed. And this is managed through a centralized software called VMware vCenter. Okay. So VMware Center or Virtual Center, actually vCenter is known as a software to manage all the VM and the resource. Okay, and in case this server crash is jumped to here, in case this server crash is jumped to here, or in case this server crash, it can be jump here or jump there. And this is all configured just like a cluster. Okay, it's a resource that manages this VMware. So now this is a one data center, Kalang data center. This is how it's been set up. Now what happens if you have a 2 data center? Okay, how does it work? Let's go to the 2 data center model. So this one is just my home at laptop. I do the virtualization. This example is a Kalang data center. Okay, now I show you 2 data center model. So this is a 2 data center. One is Kalang data center. Another one is Ayer Raja data center, which is near the Buena Vista. So they have a 2 data center. One is Kalang, one is Ayer Raja near the Buena Vista. Data center 1, data center 2. They have a centralized SAN storage replicated across the cross site through the EMC VPLAX. And then this storage is connected with lots of server. And this server are running the VMware ESX, okay, and running the multiple application. Same multiple application. And then in case this application server or this entire data center fail because of the maybe power outage, maybe the whole Kalang data center is down because Kalang power outage. So all those applications will be switched over to the Ayer Raja data center because they have a dark fiber link, fiber optic connection. So it will be automatically switched to the another data center like a Ayer Raja. When this data center is automatically switched, like user like us, we don't even notice, okay, because this Where is the user? User are like us. We log in from handphone, we log in from laptop, we log in from PC using our own internet. It could be broadband or it could be 3G, 4G, 5G. You connect to the internet, and this internet is actually connected with the the internet service provider to a data center through the dedicated link of circuit. And this data center maybe have a multiple connection to the multiple data center. Okay, one entire data center down, it will be switched back to the another data center. 4 years back, there was a major power outage on Singtel at Bukit Timah. I think many of you know the Bukit Timah power grid failed. Okay, many of you has got disruption of internet. Normally, this outage is a millisecond supposed to be. Okay, but sometime because of the big application, it may take some time to swing over, and sometime we may see web page and contents is coming from the cache, and sometime we do a few times refresh, then we get actual content. It because maybe in the backend it might be doing the syncing. So this is a 2 data center cloud model. So now the facebook.com that I'm looking at it may be coming Facebook data center at the to us. Facebook has a data center in Tuas, Singapore. So if I'm accessing from Singapore, maybe it's coming from nearest data center, which is Tuas in Singapore. If somebody accessing from the Johor Bahru, it may be coming from Singapore as well. If someone is accessing from maybe Bangladesh or India, it might be coming from here. But if there is a data center in India itself, so definitely it goes to the nearest data center. We call it hop, multiple hop. Okay, and in case the Singapore data center is down, Facebook has a data center in Hong Kong, so you should be still able to access the facebook.com from Hong Kong. And then again, Facebook has another data center, in Australia, same, in China, USA, and many other countries. So when there are multiple data centers connected to one centralized resource, this is known as a high availability zone. Okay, like cloud service provider, they have a multiple data center known as a cloud availability zone. But in the fundamental, cloud is nothing but a virtualized infrastructure that is hosted to the sum of the data center, but is connected to the internet. We all are accessing through the internet. Okay, sorry, it maybe goes very deep, but I think I'm trying to give you a flavor of the cloud and how does it looks like. So this is the physically cloud. How does it looks like? But now let's come back to the corporate way, how the cloud known as. Okay, so the cloud is actually a it's actually a virtualized platform or resource that are available on the fly, that is able to access anywhere in the world. Okay, either from mobile device, PC, and everywhere. Okay, so then the cloud, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is basically multiple resources that connected to the cloud, and those are cloud services. And the cloud services could be private cloud. So what is private cloud? Private cloud is like, for example, Singapore government has a private cloud called Z Cloud. Okay, because that cloud is only purpose for the Singapore, all the government agency, like for example A-Star, MINDEF, MOM, ICA, all those government agency service hosted in the government cloud called Z Cloud, that is known as a private cloud. Then what is public cloud? Public cloud is that something the cloud service provider like Google, Amazon, Alibaba, all other cloud service provider, Microsoft, Azure, that are selling to the public and we are buying it. Okay, then there is another cloud is known as a hybrid cloud. What is hybrid cloud? Hybrid cloud is another cloud service provider they sell to a government service provider and end user, and it could be combination of on-prem plus cloud both together. This is known as a hybrid cloud. Okay, so then in the cloud services, we can have a many cloud services. So now my question is, if we can buy the cloud services, or if we can get a free cloud services, why should we buy? Right? There are some services we get is free. There are some services we don't get it free. Okay, so I'll come back shortly. Now, in terms of the cloud, okay, how does this cloud sales to? Let's say, for example, you wanted to buy a cloud, right? So how do you buy a cloud, and what type of cloud do you buy? Okay, so cloud, there are many models. They mainly sell in this three form factor. One is known as a SaaS, software as a service. Okay, what is software as a service? Gmail is a software as a service. Facebook, software as a service. Instagram says software as a service. LinkedIn, software as a service, because we directly access the software and we don't know what kind of server, OS, cloud, the storage they're using it. We access the software and known as a SaaS, software as a service. Now, there is another cloud is known as PaaS. So what is PaaS? PaaS known as platform as a service. Okay, then what is platform as a service? Now, let's say, for example, you wanted to be a reseller. You wanted to buy a server on the internet, and after you buy a server, you wanted to sell the server to many companies to do a web hosting. So you wanted to buy one server, and inside this server, you wanted to host 100 websites. So you buy a VM. So this VM known as a platform as a service, because it didn't buy the SaaS. You buy a server. Inside the server, you set up your own OS, you set up your own database, you set up your own tools, everything. Then you do the hosting, and there are multiple companies you sell. Company A, B, C, D, F, G, or H, Y, and so on. You sell website to do hosting that we'll see on the next class. So that is known as a platform as a service. There is another cloud as known as a IaaS, is a infrastructure as a service. So that means you maybe buy few server, few storage, few backup. Okay, the backup may be virtual tape library or physical tape library. Then you buy few network switches. When you buy multiple building block together, and this is known as a infrastructure service. Why do you need that? Maybe you have a very big company and you wanted to have a one data center in one room, and in one room you put 6 rack. Like these are the rack. If you go to the data center, or if you manage to visit any of the data center looks like this. There are many rack. So inside the rack, maybe 6 rack. Then actually they have one case. Okay, and they have one partition, and there is one locker. So you unlock it, that case, you go to the public access area, you go to the unlock the case, then maybe there are 6 rack. So that 6 rack and this case is the block as known as the infrastructure as a service that you buy or your company buy. Okay, so mainly these 3 types: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Okay. Okay, so now we learn about the cloud. Okay, so now let's try to set up a cloud before we jump. Okay, how do we set up a cloud? Rakib, can you take some screenshot for today class? Let me just stop my sharing.
Sure.
Let me take some screenshot. So now we are going to do the lab assignment. Okay, so in this lab assignment, we will actually share with you how to set up a cloud, like small cloud in your laptop or in your PC. How do we do that? I'm going to share that shortly. So please make sure that you are very serious and you're listening this course. Okay, because I'm going to share many things. You may not be able to pick 100%, but try to be familiar with the terms and see what I do. Okay, now I'm going to jump to a lab exercise. Sorry, there is some noise is coming. So what is the lab exercise that I'm going to do? I'm going to download a software. Okay, let me share my screen so that you can see what software that I'm going to download. Yeah, there is an echo is coming from some Oppo. Okay, so I was trying to stop the echo. Okay, so let me share my screen now. All of you, can you see my browser?
Yes, can see.
Okay, I'm going to do download plus. Do you know how to use plus? Sorry, there's a sound echo is coming from somebody. Okay. In a Google, do you know the use case of plus and minus? There is use case of plus and there is use case of minus. Do you know? Okay, so if you don't know, let me just share. So when you do Google and you do the plus, download, you do the plus. So that means you wanted to download something and you wanted to be very specific. What is that? I call it Virtualbox. Okay, then I give another plus. Okay, software. So I tell Google I want to download. What I want to download? I want to download VirtualBox. VirtualBox, is it document? Is it video? Is it? No, I'm down onto those. See, software. When you give plus plus plus, it will give you very, very specific result. Okay. So this is basically the cloud VirtualBox. This is where I want to go. Virtualbox.org and download. So when I click it here, so I can go directly to the Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, so this is the portal that here I'm going to download the Oracle VirtualBox. Where? Here as a Windows host. I don't want to do Linux or Solaris. I want to do Windows host. I click. Now it's going to download to the Oracle VirtualBox in my laptop. So it's around 103 megabyte. It's going to download in 18 seconds. Okay, so this is a software for cloud virtualization or as a hypervisor. Is a free. Again, please make sure you write down the website virtualbox.org. Okay, you can go to the Google and search for VirtualBox. You'll get the exact link and you download this VirtualBox from here. Okay, now I have downloaded. Okay, now I'm going to install this software. Again, for today class, there is an assignment how to install a software. Okay, let's learn how to install a software. Okay, so this is the VirtualBox. I click it. Okay, now it's going to show me the screen how to install the software. Let me share that screen up here. Okay, I'm going to set up the OS, the VirtualBox. Sorry, somebody is keep doing annotation. Let me stop it. So after I double click, this is the VirtualBox screen appear. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, can see.
Okay. So again, this class and this course, there is an assignment for how to install the software, how to uninstall the software. So I'm going to show you how to install any software. So if you wanted to install Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Filmora, any of the software is the same process. So how do you do it? You download the software, you double click the installer or binary. It will come next, it will ask you. So please do not blindly click, because there are many software has a virus. So before you click the next, read it carefully. What does it say? It says the location where the software is going to install. These are the default setting for this, and it shows all about the VirtualBox and what is the virtual partition, virtual networking, all those. So keep it by default. Do not change it anything unless you are expert on this. Okay, but make sure that it is not asking to any other third-party tools or utility and software is installed. There are many hacking software. It will tell you that it will install any other tools. So I don't need that. So it's saying that now it will create a entry in the startup menu. That is fine. Create a shortcut in the desktop. That's fine. It will create a shortcut in the quick launcher. That is also fine. It will update the registry file. That is also fine. Don't just click the next. Make sure you read it, because it may tell you that your server or PC is going to hack by someone else with opening the port. Don't just blindly accept. Next. So it's giving some warning that it's going to share my network interface for this cloud. That's okay. Then it's asking, are you sure you wanted to install? Ready to install? I say yes, install it. Okay. So once I click the install, it will install this VirtualBox 6.1.30. It is fine, depend on when you download the version. Today, if you download, it's going to be 6.130. Okay, if you download 3 months later, it may be 6.2 or 6.3 or something. Okay, so once you install this VirtualBox software, first thing that you learn how to install a software. Second thing, this software is a virtualization. Okay, shortly I will show you what does virtualization means. Okay, because it's a software that will help you to make your laptop as a cloud. Okay, or your laptop as a data center. Okay, or laptop to have a multiple server within your laptop. How do we do that? So there are so now the question is it the only VirtualBox can do it? No, there are many software that you can do it. Okay, Apple has a different software parallel. Then for Vmware is another well-known company in the world, and their virtualization is also very well known. VMware has two types of virtualization. They have a VMware workstation. Let me go show you while the software is installed. If you go here, there is another company known as a Vmware. Okay, so VMware, let me show you the image. So it's very well-known company, and VMware also, this is the logo looks like. They do a cloud conference every year, at the City Hall, Raffles Place there. So they have actually workstation, which is known VMware workstation, and VMware workstation hypervisor. They also have a VMware server virtualization called ESX server. Okay, so what is the difference? Workstation is mainly for you individual user like me to install on laptop or PC. Okay, for VMware, if you install the ESX, is basically ESX is basically for your data center virtualization. I will show you shortly. Okay, so now Oracle VirtualBox is done in installation, finish. Okay, someone is doing animation, please don't do it. Okay, so my VirtualBox is done. Let me click it. So this is the VirtualBox that I had. Okay, after I install, I've just created actually 2 VM. So I'm going to create another 2 new VM. Okay, so basically this is a VirtualBox. Once you install it, it will come empty space. Okay, and then in my laptop, I'm going to create multiple server or VM called virtual machine. So let me create a new, click new. So I wanted to create a new VM for what? Windows 10. So once I write Windows 10, is this 64-bit? You can install 64-bit. You can also install 32-bit. Okay, so it's up to you based on the images that you have. If your image binary is 64-bit, use 64-bit. I highly recommend a 64-bit because 32-bit has many limitations, including the limited RAM for 4 GB. Okay, but for now I just use 32-bit. Click next. It will tell you where the virtual image will be look like. I mean, where the file is going to be saved, located. Type of the operating system, I select Windows. OS, I selected Windows 10 32-bit. Okay, next is asked in this new server or VM, how much RAM I'm going to allocate it. So I'm going to allocate the 2 GB RAM. 2 GB means, by the way, in the previous class, I forgot to discuss for computer or doing the calculation for like megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte. Normally for numeric number from 1 to 1000 or 100, when you call kilo means 1000, right? That means 1000 is called 1 kilo, right? Or 1000. So, but in computer, for the binary 0 and 1 is always known as 1024. 1024 megabyte is equal to 1 gigabyte. 1024, okay, 1024. So 1024 megabyte is equal to 1 gigabyte. 1024 gigabyte is equal to 1 terabyte. 1024 terabyte is equal to 1 petabyte. Okay, So similarly, like kilobit and 1024 kilobit is equal to 1 megabit. So it's bit, byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte is all only for bit to byte is 8 bit, but remaining all calculation is always 1024. Remember, huh? So for here I'm going to assign the 2 gigabytes, which is 2048, because 1024 into 2 is equal to 2048. Okay, so 2 gig RAM I have given. So it's saying that it will create a virtual hard disk, means within my laptop it will create another virtual hard disk. I say yes, I need a virtual hard disk to run my VM. Then it say what is the virtual type of the disk that is going to create? Is it a virtual disk image? Is it virtual hard disk? Is it virtual machine disk? I'm going to use the VDI install. I'm going to tell that there is a two option. One is dynamic, one is fixed. I keep it dynamic so that whenever the size grow, it will grow, and up to 50 GB of the dynamic hard disk will create. Okay, create. So now I have this Windows 10 32-bit. Okay, so this is a VM virtual machine on top of my laptop. Now I'm going to install Windows 10 here. So before I install, what I need a DVD. When you buy a PC and you have a DVD-ROM, you have to have a DVD of the image, right, or the operating system. You put the DVD inside, then you boot up the computer, right? So I need a DVD. So where should I get a DVD? So I click on the setting. Okay, I go to storage. Now I don't want to use the DVD, rather than I wanted to use DVD as an ISO file. Okay, so where do we get ISO file? I can download from some third-party tools or Microsoft. So I click here. I already have a ISO file which I can edit, and where the file is located, or I already have it here. I just select it. Okay, so my ISO file is already there. Okay, this is my ISO file. Give me a minute. This is shows warning because the file is missing. Many, but don't worry. After this lab assignment, I'll show you. You will be familiar with this. Okay, but you are going to learn very deep thing. So let me. So again, I go to where I go. I go to this VM properties in the setting. Once I click the setting, okay, I go to the storage. Okay, here the storage, I click this disk. Then I can select add file, where the file is located. Okay, I have it here in Windows D. I double click. So this is the file I choose. Okay, so I actually click OK. Now I have added the image file just like a DVD, and then I'm going to click start the VM to boot up. Okay, so once I click the start, now the VM is going to boot up. It will give me another window to show. Okay, then we'll start Windows operating system installation, and while operating system install is going to take 1 hour plus, we'll go to the other tools and utility. So this is the window that say is Oracle VirtualBox. Now Windows is going to load from the DVD that I have. Here you can see an icon. Windows is loading. Okay, it gives some messages that there will be keyboard. So now Windows is already loaded from the DVD. Okay, so this is the Windows setup screen is appear. Okay, so it's asking select the English language, United States. I said yes, next. Then I'm going to tell yes, I wanted to install the Windows. Okay, click the install. After I click the install, it's going to stop, or prepare setup is going to start in few seconds. Okay, once I started the installation, it will ask a couple of the questions. Once I answer all those questions, it's going to take around half an hour to 1 hour, or half an hour to 45 minutes to install the entire operating system. So then we'll jump back to the theory and the Q&A. Okay, just going to take a couple of those minutes. So it is asking me to enter the product ID of the Windows, because since I didn't buy, so I don't have a product ID. So I just say I don't have product ID. So that means I install now. It will give me 30 days to activate the Windows, so I can activate later. So once I select I don't have the product ID, it gives me option to select, is it Windows 10 Pro, Home, or Education series. I say Windows 10 Pro. Next. Okay, the architecture is x86, you have noticed. So then it will ask me few questions. You may have seen that at bottom it shows that collecting the information, that is stage 1, then stage 2, it will start the Windows installation. So I'm going to accept the license agreement. Next. Then it's giving me two options. One is upgrade the Windows, one is custom install the Windows. Since this is a fresh installation, I'm going to select the install, not upgrade. Upgrade means maybe I have a Windows 7, I'm going to upgrade to Windows 10, but here I'm going to install Windows 10. Okay, so I have a fresh 50 GB hard disk just now I created as a virtual hard disk. I select that and I click the next. Okay, so now it started copying the Windows file from the DVD image to inside this VM. Okay, it started to 0% and it will show shortly to 1%, and subsequently it will take 100% to install and copy all the Windows binary file from DVD to this VM or computer. So what exactly I did it in my laptop, I install a virtualization. Let it continue. It will take some time. We can now discuss. Is 3%. It will also ask a couple of this question. So then I install a virtual machine. Inside I create a VM for Windows. Now let me create another VM for Linux. I say this is a Ubuntu Ubuntu 10, for example. So in the Linux, I select is a Linux operating system. I have an option to choose Solaris, BSD, IBM, and others. I select Linux. Here I have a multiple version. I select Ubuntu 64-bit. Okay. So why I select the 64-bit? Because I have a binary image that is 164-bit. Okay. Next. Operating system memory. Just to take note, these Windows I have already assigned 2 GB of RAM from my laptop out of 16 GB. So I need to make sure that all the VM that I created is within the 16 GB that I have my laptop. I cannot give more RAM. Okay. And on top of that, I also need to run my Windows and the PowerPoint that I'm running. So let's say 8 GB, I keep it for my laptop to run and show you the Zoom video, all those training. And another 8 GB I can use for virtualization. 2 GB I assign to this. Maybe another 2 GB I can create for the another VM. Let me jump back to my another VM. So here I also give 2 GB. 2048 megabyte, which become 2 GB. Next. Yeah, I need a virtual hard disk. Next, I wanted to use virtualized as BDI. You have other two options to choose, but I use virtualized BDI. I use dynamic hard disk. Why dynamics? If I put dynamics, now when operating system install 2 GB, it will use 2 GB. When it's go to 10 GB, it will take 10 GB. If it's fixed, it will immediately jump to the fixed size. I don't want that. So virtual hard disk 10 GB is now asking the 10 GB. I can use the 10 GB or can I use the 50 GB? Okay, let me for example put a 50 GB. So now I have created a Ubuntu 10 here. This is the VM. So now I go to the setting. Okay. Again, I need a DVD to install the Ubuntu. I go to the storage. I click the Ubuntu. Ubuntu is here. I can go to the add where the Ubuntu software is. I select this Ubuntu, choose. So Ubuntu image DVD is here. I click OK. Let me go back to see Windows. How is it? So Windows is 60% is done. Wow, very fast. Okay. So Windows is preparing it. So now I will show you inside this Windows. Okay. So while Windows is setting up, let me set up another VM and boot up Linux operating system. I've set up the image. Let's start the Linux.
Hand raise করছিল.
Okay. So let me pause it then to take some question before I start another VM. 69%. Okay, let me stop the screen share. জি আমি একটু ব্রেক নেই যেহেতু অনেক লম্বা সময় আপনাদেরকে শেয়ার করছি আপনাদের যদি কারো কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকে রেইজ করতে পারেন ডু ইউ হ্যাভ এনি কোশ্চেন টু রেইজ
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So just now I see you do 2048, meaning 2 MB, right? This meaning with how many GB?
Okay, so if you notice I put 2048 next to 2048 it was indicated as MB, means megabyte.
MB, yes.
So that means 2048 megabyte of RAM I have assigned. So 2048 megabyte of RAM means is a 2 GB.
2 GB, yes.
1 GB is equal to 1024 megabyte.
So some meaning I go Windows, let's say my laptop is 4 GB RAM.
Yeah.
Right. So we just now we do how many GB can use or cannot reach?
If you have a 4 GB RAM, actually your operating system basic you already need minimum 4 GB. Okay, but
4 GB.
still you can install the VirtualBox and you can when you create a VM you put a 1 GB.
1
Because
GB.
your OS base minimum need 3 GB.
3 GB, right.
So if minimum need 3 GB and you have to run on top your OS, so you can only allocate 1 GB. And if you create 2 VM, make sure that you don't boot up both together. One
So,
shut down, you use
yes.
1 VM. The other one you shut down, use the first VM.
So 1 GB to how many GB can this hit? 1 GB to 10 GB or 15 GB. Let's say my 4 GB RAM laptop.
If your laptop is 4 GB, you can
Yes.
assign up to 4 GB, but do not do that because your main OS need, okay?
Yeah.
Main OS need minimum 3 GB. So you can
3 GB,
assign
yes.
after the 3 GB whatever left. So if it has a 4 GB RAM, after 3 GB you have 1 GB left, you can create 1 VM. So if you have 8 GB RAM, minimum 3 GB you need for your OS. So remaining 5 GB you can create for 5 VM. Got it?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Let me share the screen again. Okay, so now I have boot up my Ubuntu Linux VM. Okay, is give me this window. Is going to boot up the Ubuntu in another VM. Just to take note that I already have one VM installing Windows 10. Another VM I'm installing Ubuntu Linux. Okay. So the where do you where can I find or download the Ubuntu Linux? Let me share with you shortly. Okay. So I go to here. Here you do download Ubuntu desktop. Once you do the download Ubuntu desktop, this is a Linux operating system. Go to the here all, and you go to Ubuntu. Sorry, my 2 VM is running plus my OS. It is slow. I go to the Google, do download Ubuntu or ISO file. Yeah. So you go to the ubuntu.com/download here or here. Then once you go here, they have a server version. They also have a desktop version. Download Ubuntu desktop. Click the download. Okay. It will give the many list and option to download. Okay. And you can just download from here. This is the Ubuntu ISO 2.9. I will cancel this. This is started download around 9 minutes. Okay. It will take 9-10 minutes to download the Ubuntu ISO. Okay. So this is where Ubuntu is a free. You can download and uninstall and use it. So now the Ubuntu is booting up. Okay. I also have a Windows 10. Let me see what is the Windows 10. This is the Windows 10 and this is Ubuntu. So I have two servers that I have set up inside my laptop. So this is a one operating system Windows. This is another operating system Ubuntu. I can have multiple. That means this is one server. This is another server. I can have another server here, another server here. If you go back the slide. Let me minimize this. If you go back to the earlier slide, remember. Sorry, go to the presentation mode. If you go back to your earlier slide, yeah. So here I said I will install Windows 10 operating system to my laptop. So I've created a VM. I have installed Windows 10 here in this VM. I'm still installing it. I've created another VM. I'm installing Ubuntu Linux Desktop Edition. Okay. Then how does it work? So this is my laptop. I can create 5 VM. I have just created 2 VM. One VM I'm installing Ubuntu Linux. Another VM I'm installing, let's say for example, Windows 10. I can have a multiple VM here in my laptop. So once I have a multiple VM in each VM, I configure as a one server. Each VM I install as a different operating system. Each VM I install different application, and I can access this to the internet. Then I can host all the services on my laptop. Then you can actually access through internet from your phone or laptop from your home or office. Then my laptop become a cloud. Okay. So there are some naming convention on DNS registry and how this web hosting is work, which we will teach you on the third class, which is next class. But this is how the virtualization cloud infrastructure looks like. Okay. So let me go back to VirtualBox. Windows is still installing it, preparing it. The Ubuntu still installation is going on. So it's going to take around 45 minutes to 1 hour to set up the Windows as well as the Linux. You just click next, 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 and boot up. Okay, and it gives multiple options to choose. Just if you don't know, just select next, next, next. Okay, your index is getting ready. This Ubuntu also is trying to get ready. So I have a 2 server that I have configured inside my laptop. This is called known as a virtualization. Okay, then what is virtualization? Basically, make one computer to so many computers or one hardware. Why we do that? Okay, let me ask this question: why do we do the virtualization? In the many years back, we used to buy a laptop that has a 1 GB RAM, 1 CPU, and maybe 10 GB hard disk. Now we buy a laptop that has a 8 CPU and 1 terabyte hard disk. And maybe 5 years later, we'll buy a laptop that will have a 16 processor or 32 processor. But the question is that all the 32 processor or 16 processor, are we going to use all? No. Similarly, laptop is going to be more and more powerful. Server is going to be more and more powerful. And if you don't utilize all the server, it is cost to a company. So virtualization gives you option to use one server to a multiple server to properly utilize your resource. Okay, I can give you one simple example. When you buy a flat, you have a living room, you have a few bedroom, you have a kitchen, you have a toilet, all those, right? And you try to use the entire floor. You try to use the entire floor, okay, with a multiple room to properly utilize. Now, in case you use half of it, the another half of the floor is going to unutilized, right? So this is the Ubuntu installation window is appear. I say I install Ubuntu. Okay, then it will ask few questions similar like Windows, and I will do the next, then start installing the Windows. So this is a Linux distribution. Linux has many Linux. They have a Red Hat, they have a Fedora, they have a CentOS, they have a a Debian, they have a Mandrake, many flavor. Ubuntu is very well-known, flavor, and it's free. Okay, that many people use it, and it's almost like a replacement of Windows. And this is a server version. They have a server version. They also have a desktop version. Okay, but Windows definitely you have to pay. It's not a free unless you use the pirated copy, but which we don't really recommend. But again, Ubuntu is a free. Okay, so then why people actually do the virtualization? Again, come back. Many days ago, server has a one CPU. Now server has so many CPU. In one server, they have MSA 4 socket. Each socket is 8 CPU. That means 32 CPU. But if you just set up one server to one web server, you may be using only 2 CPU. Then remaining 30 CPU, we are going to waste it. We are not going to properly utilize the remaining resource. This is why the server are so powerful. Even the next generation server will be more powerful. And you want to utilize many resources, you create a multiple VM, you sell one VM to one company. This is how we do the hosting business. Those people that hosting business, this is how hosting business works. So the Ubuntu will ask you question. I'll just click next. By default, whatever is there, I say download will be installed, update will be installed, normal installation. I said minimal installation. I just give it next. Then it will finish. The Ubuntu desktop installation. Then we can see similar desktop like Linux on Ubuntu. Okay, so since the server is so powerful and server wanted to have a multiple partition, okay, and each partition used for the different purpose, and this is why the virtualization concept came, to have it properly utilized. Okay, when we buy a flat, we do multiple partition, one 3 bedroom, maybe 2 toilet, 1 kitchen, 1 living room. We do multiple partitioning, right? To properly utilize, we need a living room, we need a few bedroom for us and our guests and so on. We need a kitchen, we need a toilet, we do partitioning, right? So the virtualization is something like the server, you do the partitioning, multiple partition, and each partition is used for the different purpose. Okay, so let it install. Next I'll do, and well, let me flash the slide. We need to finish it. So again, this is how the data center looks like. Okay, for a big company or even Facebook, they have a data center like this with a multiple available zone or multiple data center, and we are the user that access from the device, goes to internet, go to the one of the server. Okay, this is how the server cloud looks like. They have a private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud. The cloud is sold at many version form factor, but mainly known as these 3: SaaS, software as a service; PaaS, platform as a service; IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, so now we'll jump to the one of the OS, okay, and see some of those. So health check. So health check is basically a system check. If you go to the BIOS, they have a different setting. It will show you hardware details like how many CPU you have, what is the CPU speed, clock speed, RAM, and so on that install on the BIOS. What is BIOS? BIOS is basic input output system. Okay, that is BIOS. When Windows is boot, they give a multiple option. You can go to the safe mode, you can go to normal mode. Okay, and we'll see this is a CLI, command line interface. So if you go your Windows start button, you write CLI, you will see a black color screen appear. Okay, or you just write
কম্পিউটার স্ক্রিনটা শেয়ার করতে হবে
স্লাইড দেখতেছো না?
স্লাইড দেখা যাচ্ছে
COMMAND. আচ্ছা, when I do a search, I do the command, then I can see the command prompt. So this is the command prompt, is also known as a CLI, means command line interface. I can see user Nazmul Khan. I can do cd ... it will back one step back. It was previously Nazmul Khan, now it's become user cd ... change. Cd means change directory. I go back to the C. I do dir, directory structure. It shows all the directory, program file, I can do cd change directory. I want to jump to inside where user, us users. Okay, I can delete the tab. I'm inside cd. I go to maybe Nazmul.Khan. I use NAZ. I use tab. It will appear. So I can do the dir. So I'm inside the Nazmul.Khan. I can see lots of directory, ISO file, and so on. So this is known as a command line interface, CLI. Okay, when we need to do some troubleshooting, we can use CLI to do that. Okay, so systems. Let me go back. So let me share my screen one. Okay, because we can only see. So when I go here, I do clean, CLEAN. Okay, then I search clean, is appear the disk cleanup. I click it here. So what is disk cleanup? I have a lots of file system and lots of dumb data inside. I click clean, is appear. So I select C. I can select others. Okay. So now any of the temporary data that has been dumped to my computer, because maybe I serve many website, many different form factor I downloaded. So it's appear here. You do a search, then it's appear the window and it's say, okay, I have a Windows program file, temporary file, internet file. Okay. So do you guys hear the Microsoft voice? Okay, Microsoft is keep talking. So this is the Windows. We started to installation. So Microsoft has a self-service assistant called Torna. So actually started this lady to talking. Okay. So this lady will. Okay. Yes, right. So let me just finish the Windows installation. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically the Windows installation file copy has done. So now Windows is booting. So there's a lady actually, Katrona, she's actually speaking. So basically she is going to guide us along the way how to install the Windows. Yes, I want to stick with that. No, I don't need it. This keyboard is fine. So this is quite good actually. Windows 10 latest version actually have this Katrona that will speak, and you can just do the next based on the voice activation navigation. Okay, it's quite good. Okay, so while it's setting up, so I did the system cleanup. It is okay. You can check. Thank you. So now you can see all those. So I will actually select one by one. I will select all those, and I can see 41 megabyte that I can clean. Okay, I do okay. So it's going to delete all the temporary file. This is how we clean all the Windows temporary file. Sometimes it shows 41 megabyte. Sometimes for my temporary file is huge. It's becoming 10 gig data to be cleaned. Okay, so when you actually clean the Windows, same way we go here, we do clean disk cleanup. I click disk cleanup itself. I can again select which drive is it. Is it CD? I see C. Okay, okay. Then it will appear the disk cleanup tools. Okay, but many of you may use some third-party tools called CC Cleaner. Okay, I don't really recommend it because CC Cleaner also sometimes viruses appear. So just now I have already done cleanup. I can do clean up the file systems. What is that? So when I clean up the file system, the previous earlierly is just temporary data. Clean up the file system means if the operating system has a temporary data, I want to clean that also. Okay, I click OK. So it's going to show me search scan. It's going to scan it. If there is a temporary file from Windows, Windows update cleanup. If there is any Windows patching. Okay, thank you. So Windows cleanup, it will actually search, scan it, and it will show me how much data that I can clean from my temporary data. Okay, I won't do. So by the way, guys, do you hear the voice from Microsoft?
No listen anything.
Oh, you don't hear, is it? I
Here, but
should.
very slow, not clear.
Okay. So here I can select all and I click OK. Then delete the file. Yes, let's delete all the dump data. So this is how we actually clean the data of Windows temporary data that we don't need it. Okay. So that's all known as a system cleanup that I was discussing earlier. In this slide, this is how we do the system health. Is basically we can do system properties. We will see how many CPU disks and so on. We can go to that taskbar properties. I'll show you shortly. We have seen the command line interface. System save mode. When you actually boot up, you can actually select the save mode. You can enter it. BIOS. I can't really jump, but this is how the BIOS looks like. BIOS full meaning is basic input output system. And this is how the BIOS is a ROM, is a chipset that is inside a laptop, that is BIOS. Okay, so this is a system cleanup third-party tools known as a CC cleaner. Okay, it's a free. I don't really recommend, but some of my friends use it. You may have seen many other tools, but I use normally the Windows cleanup because that is Windows own default tools. The CLI we have seen command line interface. Okay. Software installation, I have already shown you how to install the VirtualBox. The same way we can actually remove any of the software. Where do you how do you remove this? We go here, we search the settings, you click the settings. Once you click the setting, this is a setting screen appear here. Then you can click the apps. Once you click the apps, you will be able to see all the application here that has been installed. If you wish to remove any of the software from here, you can definitely do that. So how do we do it? Let's say, for example, let me uninstall a software that I don't need. Which one? Okay, let me uninstall the Atom. So this is a software that I installed some time back. I say I don't need this Atom, so I click uninstall. Then Atom is going to uninstall it. Okay, so this is from where the software we uninstall it in setting apps and feature for Windows 10. For Windows 7 is known as a add remove software. Okay, so once you click it, the uninstall is going to start, and shortly you will see that the Atom is disappear from the list. Here Atom will be disappear after the uninstall has been completed. Okay, so this is how the software has been uninstalled. So next, we have very short time, half an hour. I'm not sure that we can finish because just now last 1.5 hours is just doing module 4. Module 5 will run it very fast. We'll learn how to add the users. So there are a few ways to add the users. If you go to the control panel, you can add in Windows 7 add user from here. In Windows 10 it's actually under the setting. Go to the setting again. Once you click the setting here, there is a accounts. Once you click the accounts, then actually you can add the user from here. Okay, so there is another way that you can do it. How? The same like device properties last time we went. Okay, yeah, let me show you. You go to the my computer. Okay, once you select this PC, you go here at manage. Once you click the manage, it will be open a device manager. Under the device manager, the first class I have actually shown you where the user and group to be add and delete. Okay, so this is basically computer management. Once you go to the computer management, there is users. Here is the users, here is a group. So you can users, right click new user. Let's say, for example, I want to add a new user. The username is Sarina. Full name is Sarina Khan. I can add description, password. I can add complex password. I don't know how to use computer with 0.97. Some complex password, whatever I wanted to set. Okay. So anyway, so once you actually create the user, so this is how the user is appear here. You can actually right click, set the password. You can go to the properties of the users. You can update the properties, and you can also add these users to administrator group. So once you go to the group, this is how you see all those group. If you want, actually, you can go to the properties of the group. You can add multiple users inside the group. Okay, so this is where we create users and group. A group you cannot set from the setting, but you can actually set users from the setting for Windows 7, 10, and so on. Okay, for the server, we usually do it from here. Okay, so what is the Teamviewer? The Teamviewer is a software that we use to connect a server remotely. Okay, Teamviewer is a free software. You can go to the Google. Let me go to the Google again. Let me go a browser and share my screen again. Okay, so you can go to the Google. You can download the Teamviewer to your laptop. So Teamviewer is a tools to allow you to remotely access your computer from somewhere else. Okay, so this is a Teamviewer. Teamviewer is a free software. Okay, you download it. Once you download it, download 64-bit. Okay, so once you download it, is a very small 33 megabyte. Once it's installed, double click. Okay, once you click, double click, let me share this screen here. It asks you by default installation, yes, accept. Okay, next, and it will install the Teamviewer, and after once it's Teamviewer installed, it will give a window. The installation is going on. So once it's a very small software. Once the software has been installed, it will give you access to this. So let's say, for example, at India, at your house, you have a laptop, but your parents or your sister is having the problem. So you wanted to help your sister. You ask your sister, please install the Teamviewer. They install the Teamviewer, and you install the Teamviewer to your laptop at in Singapore. Then from your laptop, you can remotely access to your sister laptop in India. So that is the remote access tools called Teamviewer. Okay, so this is a software that I use over the internet, that I can access to the computer anywhere in the world, to anybody, it's a laptop or server. Okay, then what is the remote desktop connection? So remote desktop connection is a Microsoft own tools. You can just search MSTSC. Okay, once you run it and enter, so it will give you a window like this, is remote desktop connection. So if you have a server at somewhere else and you have already have a connection to that IP address, you can just click connect and you will be able to reach that server. Okay, so this is a Microsoft, but this is within the network itself. It cannot access over internet unless you have a site-to-site VPN. Okay, but Teamviewer is something that is give you access over the internet. Okay, so once Teamviewer software has been installed, this is how the Teamviewer looks like. Okay, it gives you the ID and password, and it's give you another ID to put. So what is this ID password? If someone wanted to access my computer, I need to pass this ID and this password. Okay, and if I wanted to access to my sister computer in India or Bangladesh, I ask my sister, can you give me this ID? Maybe she gives this ID, and actually then I type it. Okay, maybe it's 78 or something. Then once I click the connect, it will ask the password. Then I have to ask sister, can you give me the password? Sister give the password. Once I click the connect, I can access his or her entire computer. Okay, so this is the remote access tools that is free, available, that you can use for some remote access. Okay, so let me go. Active Directory and computers is something similar like this, which is just now used for laptop is a device manager. For the server, it's have something like this. On server, we can actually add multiple users and access for those. Okay, remote desktop is MSTSC, the command that I run to appear this computer. Okay, remote access for VNC tool, just now I show. The last part is a file system. Later Windows once install, I'll show you some of those. So in addition, a computer or hardware, so there will be hardware layer. Then after that, you install operating system, Windows 10 or Windows 7. On top of that, you install a software or application like Teamviewer. On top of that, as a user, we access it. So user, application, operating system, hardware. This is a standard design. But when I have a virtualization, I will have another layer here in between hardware and operating system called virtualization. Okay. So what is the file system? Okay. So definitely there are different operating systems that you can choose, like Red Hat Linux, Fedora, CentOS, Debian, Ubuntu, just now share. There are many Linux version, Windows version, Mac operating system. You can also install to your laptop, by the way, if you want, using the VirtualBox. SUSE, any other Linux version you can install. And when you go to any of the file system, let me go to one of the file system to my computer. Okay. When I open any of those, my computer, let's say for example, this is D, I right click, properties. So I can see this is a 4 terabyte hard disk. Okay, here 3.63 terabyte. I can see the file system is NTFS. On the previous class, we explained what is NTFS, next technology file system. Okay, so there will be many different type of file system that you can use. Okay, it could be NTFS, it could be Linux as an extended ext2, ext3. You can use even FAT32 file system or FAT. Just now in the slide, if you notice that we have shared, this window property is so FAT32. That means it's FAT32 operating system. The capacity is 28 gig. Okay, so this is a file system. So each of the drive, when you click it, that drive you need to format as a file system. Okay, so last class we show you as a device manager. Let me just go back to the device manager. In the device manager, you have a multiple partition. You can also create a file system and you can create a multiple partition itself. Okay, so here, remember the last class I show you, if you go to the disk management, you'll be able to see the multiple disks and multiple partition here. You can create a multiple partition here, but if you are not expert, don't play around here. You may destroy your entire hard disk. It still is loading. I'll let it load. Okay. Let me go back. When load, I'll show you. So again, that's a file system. The software installation just now we have seen. Remove how to install the remove the software. The same just now I show you how to remove the atom. Okay. Clean up the registry. If you are not expert, don't do it. But you can clean the registry using third-party tools like CC Clean. Just now I show you. Which is these tools. Okay, they have a clean registry clean. Okay, you have a third-party page software. You can actually do this registry clean using the tools, but do not manually do it. Then you will screw up the operating system. Okay, the drive and file system, earlier I have shown you how to clean up and drive. Okay, and there are many operating systems that you have option to choose. So you can install the Mac OS, you can install the Linux, you can install Windows. Okay, so that's all about the file system for Windows 6. So in this session, let me just recap what we have learned. Somebody asked the question, sir, what is the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit? It's just a file system, or the so 32-bit is actually 32 block size, 64-bit is 64 block size. Okay, when the hard disk data has been written, it's right in the different block size. Okay, so if you use Windows 32-bit, there is a limitation that you can go up to the memory is of 3.86 GB or 4 GB. But if it's 64-bit, you can go to a larger file system, larger memory. So we always try to use 64-bit operating system and 64-bit file system. Okay.
মোহাম্মদ পলাশ, আপনি কোশ্চেন করতে পারেন, হ্যান্ড রেজ করছিলেন।
Yes, brother, I have two questions. One of them, already I have the Windows 10. So what shall I upgrade? I mean, I will be upgrade 2016 or update again the Windows 2010.
Okay.
Secondly is if I will be upgrade my software, I will be lost my software whatever I have inside my laptop or will not. Thank you.
Very good question. Thank you so much. Let me just stop my screen share so that I can see everyone. So he has two question, a very important question. What is the upgrade path for him? Okay, upgrade path means today you have a Windows 7. So should he jump to the Windows 2016 server or not? So the operating system, there is a two track. One is end user track, which is like Windows 7, Windows 10. These are the end user computing operating system. There is another track is called server. The Windows 2000 server, Windows 2003 server, Windows 2008 server, Windows 2012 and 16 server. So that is the server track. So when you wanted to upgrade your operating system from Windows, 7, the next upgrade path is Windows 10, and from Windows 10, your next upgrade path is Windows 11 because this is end user operating system. For the server, if you use Windows 2003, next upgrade is Windows 2008. From there, next upgrade is 2012. From there, the next upgrade is 2016 and 2019. So that is the server upgrade path. Okay. So your second question is, if I upgrade my operating system from Windows 7 to Windows 10, will I lose all my data, software, and everything? Not. So when you upgrade it from existing operating system Windows 7 to Windows 10, you don't lose the data because it's upgrade. But if you format and install it fresh, you lost all the data. Okay. So one is fresh install, one is upgrade. If you upgrade it, you will not lose the data. But if you do the fresh install, that means format everything, delete everything, and reinstall fresh, then you lose the data.
Maybe OneDrive C drive put for install file, no damage file.
Yeah, that another way is you can do it, which we do it. Normally, we create a multiple partition. Let's say, for example, we create two partition. One is C drive, one is D drive. Then we keep all the data in D drive. Even if you have some drive data in Microsoft, maybe My Document, we copy all the My Document data. We keep it in D drive. We have all the backup data in D drive. Then when you install Windows 7, you can format the C drive, which is basically the operating system and application. So all your operating system data, all the software that you install will be everything gone from the C drive. Then you can install fresh on the C drive. Once you install fresh, then later I can copy back the data from the D drive to put back to C drive. This is what sometimes we do when our operating system is 3 years, 4 years, is very slow. We call it very slow. We format the entire C. But before that, we take all the backup. Either we keep backup on D drive. The best way that we recommend, keep it outside the laptop. Because sometimes you don't know, you install which drive, actually maybe you wrongly format in the D, then that's it. Best way is take out an external drive or the thumb drive, backup it separately. Okay, then you can play around, C drive, D drive, whatever it feels safe. As long as you have a full data backup, external drive could be thumb drive or pen drive or external drive. Okay, and unless you are expert, you can keep it another partition like D, then you format the C and reinstall, then copy back again on the C. Okay.
One more question is the third panel, Cerberus.
Sorry?
Cerberus writing the chat box, Windows password key need to installation or right? Yeah.
So the question was, Cerberus say Windows product key need to install OS or right? So yes, you need to install the product key. You can do it during the installation or you can do it later. You will have a 30 days time. In the 30 days, every day it will keep reminder, please enter the product key. So where do you get the product key? You have to buy it online. You have to buy Microsoft operating system online. Once you buy it, then you will get an email notification. In the email, they will actually give you a product key. You have to pay for it. Okay. So this is why I said, if you go download from Ubuntu, is a free. You don't need the product key at all. It's a free. And Unix is the operating system. is a totally free, and all the application or associated browser actually is totally free and is also virus free operating system. Okay. So let me just share my screen. We are actually almost end of the class. It's already 10:52. Let me share the screen to recap, and let's go back to our virtualization cloud that we are setting up where we are now. Where is my cloud? Okay, so my Windows is ready. Can you see this? So Windows is asking me to create an account. I say, okay, create an account. Okay, the Windows is ready. After I create an account, it will go directly to the start menu. Okay, so let me see my Ubuntu. Where is my Ubuntu? Not this one. It is in, yeah, I have it installed. It's asking the fresh install. I say, yeah, Ubuntu fresh install. Continue. Okay, it's going to install. So it's asked some question that I didn't even notice. So VirtualBox, my Windows. Okay, so it's asking to create an account. I say 24 Asia STUDENT01. I need to give it.
স্যার ভার্চুয়ালাইজেশনে কি অ্যাপেল আর আইওএস ব্যবহার করা যাবে?
হ্যাঁ, করা যাবে।
অ্যাপেলের আইওএস ফাইল কিভাবে ডাউনলোড একটু শো দিয়েন প্লিজ।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। Email address need to start with the letter what? STUDENT student 24 Asia. New. Okay, just say new email. Password. Okay. Date of birth. Maybe I say January. 1st January. Sorry, 1st January. I put it 1981. This is my birthday. I have born in 1981. So 1981, yeah. Accepted. Next. Phone number. Okay, I'm in Singapore. Sorry. 96364740. That is my phone number. Next. Okay, so yeah, the Windows operating system OS installation is just finished. It will give me a reboot, then enter the login. So it's done almost. Let me just see what is Ubuntu currently. Ubuntu is Singapore. Okay, continue next. Let me see my Windows. Windows, okay. Create a pin. Okay, creation is done. It will, I think, reboot a computer, then it will directly go to the start menu. So my Windows installation is finished. Ubuntu is also finishing soon. Okay, while I finish it, let me just recap what we learned today. Okay, so today we have learned on hands-on the system and OS administration. We learned what is cloud. We learned how to set up the cloud, the different cloud services, how to install Windows 10, how to install Ubuntu Linux. It's almost finishing soon. I install the software, uninstall the software. How do I do the file system cleanup? OS patching. This is something that I have shown you in the past. Let me just go back and show you. So basically, once you start settings, which is this screen, okay, In this settings, you go to the home. There is a icon. It's called security update. You click this update and security. Okay. So this is where Windows will search all the updated security patch. Okay, and it will ask you to install, and then it will reboot it. Okay, so always recommend, highly recommend, make sure that you have installed Windows, the updated patch and antivirus. Okay, if you install Windows 7, there is a free Microsoft operating, the antivirus is called Microsoft Security Essential. You can install it. If you install the Windows 10, Windows 10 has a built-in antivirus called Windows Defender. You don't need to buy anything else third party. Okay, so make sure that you always update the antivirus signature and Windows patches here. Okay, so it's searching in, it is out. So we have done update the patches, then we have also done the how to add, remove users and groups. So that's all for today. Let me jump to the Q&A. Okay, the first question that I have, what is VirtualBox? I think many of you have already written. Okay, so the answer that I have,
Yeah, high vibration. Answer is C.
can you repeat what is C?
Answer is C.
Answer is C. C is what? C is sweets.
No, A
Biryani.
high vibration.
No, not it. Can you, Jaman, can you please pronounce it correctly again? Try.
Hyperized. Has hyperized.
Again, it's wrong. Okay. So anyway, when I heard it first time for this word, 10 years ago, I also got confused. I pronounced it wrongly. Okay. So this is okay because I did the same mistake. Okay. So today, many of you learned today is the first time. So that you will pronounce it wrongly. This is expected. The same mistake I did it. Okay. So the correct pronunciation is called hypervisor. Hypervisor. So it's just 4 syllable. If you just break it to 4 syllable, H-Y is high, P-E-R is par, vi is vi, SOR is SOR. So hypervisor. Okay.
Yes.
So VirtualBox is a hypervisor. Can you tell me any other hypervisor in the market apart from VirtualBox? I have shared 2. Anyone can share? Okay, no problem. There is another one is called Vmware Workstation. Okay. Second question. What is cloud? Cloud is a sky. Cloud.
Virtual resource.
Sorry.
Virtual
resource. Virtual resource.
Okay, some say virtual resources. Anyone else? Okay.
Virtual resource.
I actually use a tricks. Okay. So cloud is a sky. This is also true. Sometimes we see the black, the blue color sky. Sometimes we see, the green color sky. Sometimes we see orange color sky. This is also cloud, right? But we are not talking about that cloud. We are talking about the cloud services. Okay. So cloud is basically a virtual resource, which is correct. Cloud is a different type of service. The C, this is also correct. Remember, we have a SaaS, we have a PaaS, we have a IaaS. Okay. So basically A, C, D, all 3 correct. Okay. So, but in the computer or the cloud computing, we are just for talking about different type of services and virtual resource, which is C and D. Now, third question. What is the full meaning of BIOS?
Number B is correct.
Basic input-output system.
Input system.
Okay, very good. Okay, I thought it's Bangladesh International Organization System. Okay, number 4. Let's see. How to remove a software? Just now I have explained.
Go start device now. Number D. Number D. Yes.
Some say C, some say D. Okay, so let me take C is saying How to remove a software? We go start, we go
Yes, sir.
device manager, we go remove. Is that correct? Device manager, do you remove the software? Let's
No,
go
no,
to the,
no,
let's go a device manager to see if they are right.
no.
So this is a computer or device manager. Okay. Earlier just now we are showing this different partition. These are the different partition. We can right click and create a partition. So don't play around. So device manager is here. So somebody says, see, can you uninstall a software from here?
Cannot.
Cannot, sir.
So the
It's
answer is
mistake. D.
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 To remove the
Sorry.
software, you go to the start, you go to the setting, you go to the add remove software, or you go to the application, add removed application.
Application. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's all for today class. Let me go back to see our cloud where we are now setting up save file to this PC. I don't need it. So my Ubuntu Linux also finished. What is the name? I put it 24 Asia. Choose. I can choose a password. Okay. I can keep login automatically. Continue. So Ubuntu almost ready. I also have a Windows is also ready. Make the control. Okay. No, I don't need it. Control. So sorry, Ubuntu is going to take some time to install for another half an hour, but it's okay. I already have installed Ubuntu. I'll show you. I've already installed Ubuntu. Now, after this installation finish, the bar will come all the way. Then it will show it's a reboot, and after that, it's come back to the Ubuntu. I'll show you how does it looks like. Let me just shut down this. Power of this machine. Okay, what is the Windows? Windows say we are in the last steps. Okay, so it's going to reboot, I think. Yeah, it's done. We are inside the Windows operating system just now, the one we installed. This is logging as a ID that we have created. Okay, just nice. It's going to get ready. So for Ubuntu, let me just power on Ubuntu again for another VM that I have installed already. I just wanted to show you how does it looks like. This one I can close it. This one I can close it. This one I can close it. Okay. So this is the Windows is getting ready. In the few minutes, this Windows just now we have set up is finish it. Okay. And this is my another VM for Ubuntu is. I'll show you how does it looks like. Anyone has installed Linux before, or this is the first time?
So this is first time.
This is the first time. Okay. Okay, so Windows is almost ready. It's just taking another 5 minutes. It's going to be ready. The Ubuntu, I have already finished the entire installation. This is another instance, and I'm just booting up. After the copy, the 100% finish, it just reboot, and once it's reboot, it will actually go to the inside the Ubuntu operating system that I'll show you. Okay.
So today many things practical on, but we have to assessment and do.
Yes, today I have actually teach many things again. Remember, I told you this is a 1-year diploma course, and this diploma course, PSB is maybe teaching around $9,000, and you are learning free.
Yeah. So that's why
Okay.
I say just now we just assessment how we're doing, because just simple is, let's say you setup is Windows 10 Ubuntu, this is not mentioned, right?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you speak in Bengali?
Yeah, ভাই জাস্ট না আমরা যেন ওই যে ইয়া করছিলাম উইন্ডোজ সেটআপ করছিলেন ওটা তো আমরা অ্যাসেসমেন্ট মধ্যে উল্লেখ করা লাগবে না তাই না কারণ ওটা তো প্র্যাকটিক্যাল অনেক স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ অনেকগুলো
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা না না আপনার ওই অ্যাসাইনমেন্টে আপনার ওই জিনিসগুলো লিখতে হবে না যে কি কি করছেন আপনি জাস্ট আপনার হ্যান্ড নোট আপনি কি করছেন আপনি ওগুলো দেখছেন ঠিক আছে আপনি যা বুঝতে পারছেন এই ক্লাস থেকে ওই জিনিসটা হ্যান্ড নোট করছেন উইন্ডোজ এবং লাইনাক্স কিভাবে স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ ইনস্টল করছে ওই জিনিসগুলো আপনার লেখার দরকার নেই ঠিক আছে so what he is seeing that actually he was asking the way I have installed Windows and the way I have installed the Ubuntu Linux. I don't need you to write step by step everything in details and submit an assignment. No, I'm not expecting that because this is hands-on practical. So we can just write it, we have learned how to download the Ubuntu Linux binary from Ubuntu, go to the Google Ubuntu location, ubuntu.com/download. Then we have installed, VirtualBox from where the virtualbox.com or org download. Then after that, we install the VirtualBox. We created the VM. The VM we have size, RAM 2 GB, hard disk 50 GB, and so on and so on. Then we created another VM for Ubuntu, name Ubuntu, given 2 GB RAM, 50 GB hard disk, and so on. Then we download the binary from here. Then we install. We have learned how to install Windows OS, how to install Ubuntu Linux. That's it. You don't need to write all the details. Okay. Because I have done many things, so you won't be able to memorize all step by step to write it here. Okay, so this is a Ubuntu Linux. How does it looks like? You can see, click show application, it will appear all the application here. Okay, and this is the menu bar looks like. It will have an email client like Thunderbird. It will have a browser Firefox. It will have many other default application. So this is how the VirtualBox, the Ubuntu Linux for the desktop version looks like, and this is absolutely free.
স্যার উবুন্তুর মধ্যে কি উইন্ডোজ এর মধ্যে কি অ্যাপ্লিকেশন ডাউনলোড দেওয়া যাবে লেটস সে সেটআপ দেওয়া যাবে উইন্ডোজ অফিস বা আদার্স পার্সোনাল অ্যাপ
a very good question. So if you install Ubuntu, since it's free, it's good, but you cannot install any of the Windows based software inside. You have to use Ubuntu type of package or software. Okay, Ubuntu itself is a RPM package. You can download. Let's say for example, you go to the Google. Okay, most of the Windows-based application are not available in Ubuntu or any of the Linux flavor. Like for example, Microsoft Office is a Windows version. If you go to the Linux or Ubuntu, you cannot install Microsoft Office. You have to install similar software called OpenOffice. Okay, because Linux is completely different. The file system, application structure is completely different. It's a Unix-based operating system, Linux. Okay, which is any flavor Linux flavor you use like Ubuntu. Windows is separate. The same like Mac OS. Okay, you have Apple, right? Apple phone. Can you install Android RPM package here in the Apple? Cannot. You can only install the Apple software which is there in the App Store. You are not even connected to thumb drive to install the app software. Apple doesn't allow. They lock in. Android, you can install thumb drive or SSD, or you can download from the Google, right? Android does it. But Android software can only use Apple. Apple software can only use Android because it's a two different operating system. Same for Windows and Linux. Okay, so you see that Windows is free. I have done the setup. So this is the Windows operating system. Is everything ready? I can actually install. I can actually go to the internet. Let me go, and I can do anything and everything. I can format the entire Windows here. I can delete everything within this box itself. Because I delete it, I crash it. Doesn't matter. Okay. Once I delete it, it's only disappear from this VM itself. It doesn't touch my main laptop OS. Yeah, almost going to finish very soon. Yeah. Okay, so this is within my VM itself. Okay, so again, I have teach today lots of things, to be honest. Again, this is a crash program. There's many things that actually came, and what I'm actually teaching to you guys, I have learned over 20 years. I've been working in this industry for 20 years. I learned this 20 years and I'm going to teach you within 1 week or even 2 hours. So this is called the express route. In 20 years, what I have learned, I've summarized it, and key point I'm actually teaching you in 2 years. And this is absolutely free. And all those slides that you see, okay, there are many slides actually only for this. You can see the 44 slide. Okay, but that's not enough. There are more slides. I took 3 months to develop and create all those contents for you guys. And many of the students are not taking this course seriously because it's free. So the expectation is, again, since it's ending the course now, class, I'm requesting all of you. You have seen how much time I spent actually. আমি আসলে প্রচুর পরিশ্রম করি, আমাদের টিমে সবাই প্রচুর পরিশ্রম করে আপনাদের শেখানোর জন্য। আপনাদের কি আশা করি? জাস্ট স্মল অ্যাপ্রিসিয়েশন। আপনারা আপনাদের ফেসবুক টাইমলাইনে আপনাদের এই কোর্সটা যদি ভালো লেগে থাকে, জাস্ট টাইমলাইনে একটা পোস্ট করবেন যে 25 যে কাজগুলো করতেছে, এটা ভালো কাজগুলো করতেছে, আর অনেকেই যেন এগিয়ে আসে। সিঙ্গাপুরে 1.4 মিলিয়ন পিপল আছে, আমরা সবার কাছে রিচ আউট করতে পারবো না, কিন্তু আমাদের মতো যদি আরো অনেক গ্রুপ এগিয়ে আসে তাহলে হয়তো আমরা সবাইকে ফ্রি শেখাইতে পারবো এবং আমরা নিজেদেরকে আপগ্রেড করতে পারবো। সো এই স্মল পিস আমরা ডেফিনেটলি এক্সপেক্ট করতে পারি আপনাদের সবার কাছে। I really hope that all of you can help to do that. This small token of appreciation is just go to your Facebook timeline and write a post. What did you learn about this course? If you like the course, even if you don't like it, you can still give a feedback to us that what do you don't like it, or which is the part that you didn't really like at all. We'll definitely try to improve it for the next course and so on. Okay, but we really have given a very our best effort, try to make sure that all of you learn, because you came for such short time, and you really try to get best out of it. Okay, so that's all for today. Let me just stop the screen share and I'll take some of the feedback from you.